the lie of control and the truth about your pain. Have you ever wondered why, no matter how much you grow or achieve, you're still left feeling exposed to life's harshness? Why a single comment, a cold silence, or a rejection still cuts so deeply? You are not broken, you are human, and most of us were raised not to be whole, but to be safe, to keep it all together. We learned to survive, not to feel. We were praised for strength, not vulnerability. And so we built a shell, layer by layer, called control. But here's the painful truth that few are brave enough to accept. The more you try to avoid pain, the more you give it power over you. Carl Jung saw this clearly. He taught that pain isn't a punishment, it's a signal. A voice from deep within, from the unconscious, saying, "There's a part of you you've forgotten, and it's time to come home." What wounds you isn't just what happened on the outside. It's how it echoes inside. It's the meaning you gave to rejection. It's the story you told yourself about abandonment. It's the belief that silence equals worthlessness. And that story began early. Somewhere along the way, you learned that it wasn't safe to be your full self. So you hid pieces of you. The soft parts, the sensitive parts, the parts that felt too much. And what you exiled became your shadow. The shadow isn't evil. It's just unseen. It's the sorrow you swallowed, the fear you dismissed, the rage you buried. And here's the key. Until you face it, it controls you. Until you embrace it, it shapes your relationships, your choices, your self-worth. This journey, the one you're now on, is not about becoming harder or colder. It's about becoming whole. The most powerful people are not the ones who feel nothing. They are the ones who understand everything they feel and no longer fear it. So I ask you, are you ready to let go of control? To stop surviving and start truly living? This isn't just a video. It's a moment of reflection. And it's inviting you to meet the part of yourself you've never truly seen. Shadow work, facing the you that you've forgotten. There's a part of you that lives in silence. It doesn't speak out loud. It doesn't post on social media. But it is alive. Beneath your habits, beneath your reactions, beneath your smile. That part is your shadow. Jung didn't invent it. He gave it shape. The shadow is the collection of everything you've disowned in order to fit in. Your anger, your neediness, your pain, your vulnerability. These are the parts of you that were never welcomed, so you buried them. But they didn't die. They just found new ways to live, through anxiety, jealousy, guilt, and overreaction. You think you're upset because of what someone said today, but your reaction is older than that. It's rooted in a wound that was never heard, a part of you that still believes it's not good enough, not safe, not lovable. Until you make this unconscious pattern conscious, as Jung warned, it will keep running your life, and you'll keep calling it fate. That's why no amount of success silences the fear. No relationship ever feels safe enough. No achievement ever makes you feel complete. Not because something is wrong with you, but because something inside you hasn't been seen. To face your shadow is not easy. It's painful. It means looking into the mirror and seeing parts of yourself you've tried to erase. The unkindness, the need for validation, the envy, the fear. But it's also your freedom. You don't become powerful by ignoring your darkness. You become powerful when you understand it. You don't silence the shadow by pretending it's not there. You bring it to the table, you sit with it, you listen. Because the moment you see your shadow clearly, it stops running the show. So ask yourself, what truths about yourself make you uncomfortable? What emotions do you judge the most? What do you fear others discovering? Those are not your enemies. They are your map. They are showing you where healing begins. You were not made to be flawless. You were made to be whole. And wholeness only comes when you reclaim what you left in the dark. When pain knocks, answering the call of your wounds. Pain isn't the enemy, it's the doorway. But we've been trained to shut that door, fast, to numb, to distract, to toughen up. Don't take it personally. Don't be so dramatic. Just move on. And so you did. But every time you buried your feelings, you buried a part of yourself. Carl Jung saw pain not as a curse, but as a compass of the soul. It's not here to punish you. It's here to reveal what remains unhealed, unloved, unacknowledged. Pain is a message, encoded in sensation, in emotion, in silence. And it's only when we stop running that we can finally hear what it's been trying to say. That sudden sadness when you're left out, it's not just about now. It's a ghost from childhood whispering, "You don't belong." That anger that explodes at minor slights, it's not just about today. It's protection against a wound that was never defended. That numbness you wear like armor, it's not peace. It's pain that no longer has a voice. What once helped you survive, denial, avoidance, distraction, has now become the very thing that's keeping you disconnected from your needs, your truth, your essence. There's nothing wrong with feeling. There's something sacred in it. Your emotions are intelligent. Your pain is wise. It carries a message. This is where love didn't reach. This is where boundaries collapsed. This is where you stopped being you. And when you listen, not with fear, but with curiosity, you begin to reclaim yourself. Not by fixing what's broken, but by honoring what still hurts. Jung once wrote, "Depression is like a woman in black. If she shows up, don't send her away. Invite her in. Listen to what she has to say." But we rarely listen. We scroll. We drink. We work overtime. We act like nothing's wrong. We shut the door. But what if you opened it instead? What if your anxiety is your soul's alarm bell, not your enemy? What if your sadness is the last part of you still telling the truth? What if your wounds aren't flaws, but signposts? They don't point to your weakness. They point to your healing. And when you follow them to their source, something shifts. You stop fearing pain, and you start reclaiming power. The path of wholeness, becoming the person you forgot you were. At some point in this journey, the question changes. It's no longer, "What's wrong with me?" It becomes, "Who am I beneath all of this?" And that, Jung said, is the beginning of individuation, the path of becoming your true self. Not the self shaped by expectation, pressure, or survival, but the self that was there before the world told you who you needed to be. Most people never meet that version of themselves. They live through the mask, the persona, smiling, performing, pleasing. They are praised for being good, strong, successful. But deep down, they feel lost. Because a persona can be admired, but only your truth can bring peace. Individuation is not a makeover. It's not about becoming better. It's about peeling away every false layer until you arrive at what's real. That means bringing the shadow back into the light, reclaiming your fears, your longings, your sadness, your complexity, and saying, "You belong here too." It's not a process of perfection. It's a process of inclusion. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But that privilege comes with a cost. You have to let go of what you're not. Let go of the exhausting need to be liked by everyone, the belief that productivity equals worth, the fear that you must be flawless to deserve love, the inner voice that whispers, 'You're never enough.' You are not here to play a role. You are here to be whole. That means embracing contradiction. The part of you that's brave and the part that's afraid. The part that seeks connection and the part that fears rejection. The part that shines and the part that still grieves. You are not broken. You are multidimensional. And when you walk the path of individuation, something incredible happens. You stop living for validation. You stop shrinking to fit. You stop asking for permission to be who you are. You begin to stand in your own name, not with arrogance, but with truth. And from that truth, you become unshakable. Not because life stops being painful, but because you no longer abandon yourself in the face of it. The strength of seeing clearly, how awareness ends the cycle of pain. We've been misled, taught that strength is measured in what we suppress, how still we remain when our world is falling apart. That strength means biting our tongue, hiding the tears, pushing forward with a smile no matter how much it hurts inside. But Jung whispered a different truth. Real strength isn't suppression, it's seeing. To see yourself without flinching, to name your wounds without shame, to watch your pain rise and stay present. You think you're weak because you feel too much, but feeling isn't weakness. Unconscious feeling is what drains you. Unseen wounds are what sabotage you. Every reaction that catches you off guard is not random. It's a flare, a psychic alarm that something deeper is calling your attention. That one comment that stings too hard? It's a mirror. That wave of jealousy? It reveals an unmet need. That sinking feeling in your chest? It's the echo of a story you still carry. And the moment you become aware of it, truly aware, something begins to shift. Not because pain disappears, but because it loses its power to control you. You stop blaming. You stop spiraling. You stop letting every external trigger dictate your internal state, because you've stepped into something stronger than control. You've stepped into clarity. This is what Jung meant when he said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." When you become aware, fate transforms into freedom. You begin to respond instead of react. You pause, breathe, and see clearly what is yours and what isn't. And others notice. They may not know what changed, but they'll feel it. Your presence is different, rooted, grounded, quietly powerful. They'll think you've toughened up, but really, you've softened inward, into acceptance, into understanding, into yourself. Emotional maturity isn't about being unaffected. It's about knowing your triggers and walking alongside them without collapsing. This is the power of awareness. You're not above pain. You've just befriended it. You've made space for it. And in doing so, you've made space for truth. And once you can live with the truth of who you are, there's nothing anyone can say or do that will ever undo you again. Emotional invincibility. You've seen the fire and you stayed. What if nothing could break you anymore? Not because you've hardened, but because you've integrated. This isn't emotional numbness. This is emotional sovereignty. The quiet, unshakable inner state that comes from knowing exactly who you are and refusing to abandon yourself ever again. That's the place you're reaching now. You're no longer pretending. You're no longer shrinking. You're no longer needing external reassurance to validate your inner worth. You've done something far more radical. You've walked through the fire and stayed conscious. This is what Jung meant by individuation. It's not about becoming someone better. It's about becoming someone truer. And the truer you become, the less you fear judgment. You stop molding yourself to be loved. You stop over-explaining. You stop reacting just to keep the peace. Because peace is no longer something you beg for. It's something you carry. When others lash out, you don't flinch. When someone withdraws love, you don't collapse. When uncertainty knocks, you don't run. Why? Because you've seen your own shadow. You've sat with your shame. You've learned to hold your pain and not run from it. The world may still try to test you, but it won't find the same cracks, because what once hurt you has now been integrated. This is not invulnerability. This is invincibility. Not because nothing touches you, but because you're no longer afraid of being touched. You are no longer held hostage by other people's behavior. You've stopped outsourcing your identity. You've stopped negotiating your worth. And the result? You become undeniable. The world sees someone different now. Not someone above pain, but someone anchored within it. Someone who doesn't hide anymore. And that kind of presence, the one built from shadow, clarity, and conscious choice, can't be shaken. If you've reached this point, it means something inside you has awakened. Not just interest, but recognition. You didn't watch this by accident. You were called here, not by me, but by the part of you that's ready to rise. The part that's tired of being at the mercy of the world. The part that wants to walk through life with depth, with clarity, and with power from within. This isn't a motivational high. It's a psychological rebirth. So now, I invite you, not just to continue, but to go deeper. To join a space where these truths are not whispered but explored fully. Where Jungian insight, shadow integration, and emotional mastery are the norm, not the exception. That space is called Neuromystique. Subscribe to Neuromystique if this message resonated with you. If you're ready to reclaim your story, understand your mind, and embody your wholeness. The journey doesn't end here. It's only just beginning. And we're walking it together, one revelation at a time. See you in the next video.